Hey, welcome back. Another day, another vlog. Hope you're all well on this Monday, 4th of May. Big shout out to all our new friends and followers over on our podcast. Signed up in a new podcast thing, the Road Mic Podcast Challenge. Went live on Friday. So on the weekend, I decided to, why not give it a crack? It's going through Anchor, which seems like a great little platform. It was pretty easy to do and I didn't have to stuff around too much, so that was cool. I'm now live on like 6 different podcasting with just our initial blurb of what the channel's about. So if you are listening from that, welcome to the channel. This is another day, another vlog, daily show, photography, news, tech reviews, all sorts of gear, outdoors, fishing, everything I'm sort of into. I do appreciate you popping by if you are listening while you're having a run, rowing a boat, going for a ride on the pushy, whatever you're doing, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Thanks for popping by, and we hope to have you with us for the future. So very, very cool, something different. And also, I decided to start the web page. Holy hell, that's hard work. Don't ever, when you see those ads about Squarespace and other things, don't let them say it's easy, because I've spent hours already and I don't feel like I've got anywhere. I think I've got the homepage done and I've started doing some of the photos. Now, the biggest thing I did notice about the websites, and I thought was a bit weird, was the fact that you can only upload JPEGs, which is a super old format. Doesn't have the detail for if you're going in and want to zoom into a photo, say one of my nice photos, and you want to zoom in and check out the detail and see everything. So it's all JPEG, which is a bit weird, and it's sort of, I guess, it throws back to that argument: do you need a high megapixel camera to do whatever you're doing? And even some of those big ad sponsors, I was watching James Popsy, one of the guys I do enjoy watching. English photographer, he was talking about a lot of the big posters and banners are all taken on iPhones, so you don't need a super flash megapixel camera. So and a website where I guess your life's work or stuff you really want to show off and you're really super proud of is only in a JPEG. I thought that was really, really weird. So I was a bit disappointed about that, I have to be honest. But other than that, I'm working on it. It's a work in process. Once I've got it all live and ready to go, I'll obviously chuck all the links in and start setting it up and getting whatever I can on there, getting prints and all the works and links to the Teespring store for the cups and the mugs and all that. Well, I'll put everything on there, so I'll have one spot where you can find out everything about the channel and myself and what I'm doing and where I'm going and what's happening. So yeah, a fair bit happening on the channel. I'm obviously go back to work next week, so that's another big thing. Decided to go back early because we hadn't really sold the house. We did have a house opening since they've just opened it up in WA here last week. So we had our first opening. That was pretty promising, but yeah, I can't really hang around too much longer. I don't want to waste my holidays when I'm going to need them when we do have to move to Queensland. So a fair bit happening in that regards in life in general, but I'll be back at work, so it'll be back to day shift and then night shift, so there'll be some funky stuff going on there like it used to be if you have been a long time watcher, but I'll keep you up to date and let you know how it all works during that time. One thing I will say, I'm probably going to keep the Monday to Friday for the show, purely just to give myself a couple of days off, even when I'm at work, just to sort of switch off, maybe do some more research, work on my websites and stuff like that when I'm there. That I think will make a big difference to my productivity. This show does take a fair bit of time, so it's good to have those 2 days off just to sort of rebound and bounce back into it. But it's very, very cool. I'm definitely enjoying it. Rightio, let's get some news and reviews out there. If you're from Canada and you be well aware of Henry's Camera Store, it's one of the biggest chains in Henry. It's been around since the early 1900s. This COVID crisis has smashed them for 6. They're closing 7 stores. The tweet was they're closing stores to avoid bankruptcy. You look a little bit deeper into it. They're actually just closing 7 stores that I guess were borderline not performing well. They've obviously had to close pretty much every store they can at the moment to protect their staff and to protect customers. They've still got online presence. They're not going away. They've just had to, I guess, trim the fat because times are tough. We know about the Canons and the Sonys and the 40s and the 60% downturn. Well, that then flows obviously straight into the retailers that are trying to sell this stuff. If no one's got money and no one's working, they're not going to go and buy cameras or sound equipment or lighting. So I guess it's just a sign of the times. I think we'll see a lot of companies trimming and getting rid of the fat. It's not fun for anyone. No one wants to lose a job or have to go looking for a job in such a thing. I've been through a few of these things and it's never fun. I think when I first moved to Perth 12 years ago, the GFC hit, and I applied for something like 400 jobs and got nothing, and I got knocked back by Jim Zone because I didn't have enough experience. And I was a qualified diesel mechanic, and I just laughed and said, stuff this, I'm going back to the Territory. This is just insanity. There's no way he's pulling that crap. So it is frustrating. Look, just keep going. Sooner or later, things tend to come. It's like the tide. It'll come in, it'll come out, it'll come in, come out all day, and it just does that all day and forever. So just keep fighting. Epic has cancelled Fortnite World Championships, and there's a few of them. They were trying to look at how they were going to be able to do an online World Championships. It's just didn't pan out. Too hard basket, I think. So they've dumped it. It's going to come back 2021. They have opened up a social space, I think they called it, where you can go hang out in your characters and chat to people, I guess. A little bit weird. But if we're looking forward to that. I did watch a fair bit of it last year when Booger won, that little 16-year-old kid that won like a couple of $1 million or something ridiculous, $5 or $6 million. It was pretty cool to actually see how big it is now and how talented these guys are. They're really, really, really good gamers. It's pretty insane. But yeah, so it's sad. Obviously, another sad side effect of what's happening at the moment. If you're looking for a new TV show, I did see one today that looked pretty good. Unfortunately, it is on Amazon, which is a pain for us in Australia. It's a very expensive service to purchase to get on there and painful to use. I've had dramas with them before. But Upload, it's about basically when you die, the premise is you die, before you actually go brain dead, you have even in your will that you want to get uploaded to like your family's... what do you call it? Computer-generated realm where you can live forever and do whatever and stuff like that. So you're stored in a hard drive somewhere, everything in your brain. So it seemed pretty cool premise, and I thought it'd be worth watching. If you do have Amazon, if you have run out of shows by now, which possibly most people have, chuck that one on your list. I think that'll be cool to have a gander at. Rumour mill, big time rumours. Now this one's a huge one. Apple to buy Disney was a tweet I watched this morning, and also in the same tweet they threw out there Netflix to buy Viacom, which is CBS TV channel and Paramount Pictures. Now I think CBS owns Channel 10 here in Australia. I think they bought them out. I can't remember. I know one of the channels in the States bought out Channel 10. So then if that's now becomes Viacom owns Chen, then if Netflix would own Viacom, maybe we could that'd be pretty cool for Channel 10. That could get them some good shows to throw on telly. Apple buying Disney, that's huge. How's that for a bit of a company with clout? Disney, you get Apple, you get your Apple's TV streaming service, you get the Disney Plus combined, absorbed straight into Apple TV. That is a huge thing. I'm assuming it would be its own sort of separate app on Apple TV, but to have it all and all that money and that profits in the theme parks, where they can flog Apple products in the theme parks as well. That's a pretty Pretty sharp move by old Timmy Cook. That is very, very cool. So be interesting to see how actually much truth in that is. I'm sure we'll see some more on that in a few coming weeks. E3, the annual gaming convention where they get all together and talk about gaming and the new and all the graphics cards and all the big releases. That's been rebadged. He's come out. It was originally cancelled. It's going to be it's been rebadged as a summer game festival. It's going to take place from June through to August. It's all online. There's going to be online games, online releases, free trials, so you can go on and trial free games on certain weeks. Online chats and forums, all that sort of stuff. Just in an effort to get, I guess, the messages that they want to get out to their customers, and also to talk to their customers and get that feedback on what they need to fix for the next 12 months. That's always sort of good. So there's always a way around stuff, and it's good to see them fighting hard to change and pivot into something that might become positive. He said if it does work out well, it might be a way that they can do this in the future, so people don't have to travel. So yeah, something different. But look for some news probably around the end of May to what the details are going to be for that E3 summer festival. Radio COVID-19 update. Lucky last. Mike Pompeo, Secretary, I think he's the Secretary of State for the States, come out and just give it to China again today, basically saying that they've got evidence that it's definitely come out of Wuhan, the Wuhan Institute. They've sort of sat on the fence with basically without saying, well, yeah, they didn't say you released it. We think what they're saying is basically it's come out of there, you've stuffed up yet again. And this is a history of releasing viruses and other diseases and stuff. So what they're saying is you need to get your kitchen in order, I guess, and button down all these constant mistakes you're having that are allowing stuff like this to happen and to get out. They don't think it was released deliberately. What they're saying is, well, you need to put stuff in place so this stuff cannot happen, because we can't have this ever happen again. So yeah, how China reacts to that's going to be pretty interesting. But yeah, definitely give him a fair crack in his little speech. Now, on a good little Anzac front, news and something definitely different. New Zealand Prime Minister, she's going to pop over or go live and join the Aussie Cabinet through their meetings. They're going to share what New Zealand's learned and what the Australian government has learned, work together to, I guess, help each other to make things better and to get some sort of correlation. We do, a lot of our Kiwi neighbours, we do rely on them, and we're very close bound to them, always have been. We're very close neighbours. So travelling between them, that'd be great if we could work out a solution where we could all sort of, I guess, be one area of the planet that opens up the fastest and gets going again. So sort of have, a domestic travel, including New Zealand as part of that domestic travel. It'd be fantastic for our sports with our rugby teams and stuff that are trying to get started. Give people somewhere to go for a holiday if they can't go internationally. New Zealand's an amazing place. New Zealanders can come down. You've got the Territory, WA, Tasmania. There's so many places. Between all them, you'd be pretty hard-pressed to not have anywhere to go. So I think this is really good. Great to see two different countries working together on the same goal. I think it's been a long time, and I think it really only ever happens during a war. So it's great to see that happen, and very, very cool. And that's about it. Yeah. First day of the podcast. For you guys that have listened to the podcast, I do appreciate it. That's pretty much the format of how we do it. For you guys that watch on YouTube, if I explain things a little bit more normal, it's probably, I'm just trying to, make sure that the guys can understand what I'm talking about. So hope you all enjoyed it. Something different, and onwards and upwards and forwards and all that sort of stuff. And I will see you all again tomorrow for Tuesday. Thanks for stopping by. Whether you're going that way or that way, I'll see you soon. Cheers.